Ladies and gentlemen, week 44, time for the divisional divide, as Maddie has labeled it. It is the Cap, it is the Maddie, it is the Davey, it is the RAWBall weekly podcast heading into the divisional NFL playoffs. It is going to be 4 very fun games this weekend, I think. It was an interesting divisional round, but I think this was a weaker divisional round because apart from the game we actually covered, every other game was a friggin' blowout.
Very true, very true.
Yep. Which we picked the right game to cover because every other game was shit.
Well, that's why they slotted it into the Sunday night slot because they knew we were covering it.
Oh, well, you know.
Yeah, they knew the RAWBall boys were going to have it covered. So
you know you're getting big when the NFL does their scheduling around you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I appreciate Emperor Goodell for accommodating us in the manner in which he did.
I just have one thing to say about that whole weekend.
All right.
How about them Cowboys?
Oh, Stephen A. Smith, I love you, sir.
Did you see that little compilation that he put together on Twitter?
The happiness that I feel now, I don't have to worry about the Cowboys winning the Super Bowl. I've got that. It's like I've got 2 devils on either shoulder. Got the Cowboys off. There's one shoulder clean. Now, to get the Chiefs off that other shoulder, I think is going to be a lot tougher to do because the Cowboys, they're not going to get beaten. They're just going to self-destruct. The Chiefs are going to have to be beaten, and I don't see a way in which they get beaten. But
I think you're basing your Kansas City Chiefs assessment on what the Kansas City Chiefs were and not what they are. So I think you're doing it more on name recognition.
I just hate the fucking Chiefs. I don't want to see them succeed.
Maddie and I have had to suffer through all of this chiefdom, and I live right smack dab in it. And it's just, Davey, when you live in the middle of the swamp, it makes everything they do feel that much bigger and worse.
So what you're meaning to say, Cap, is that we need another Broncos Super Bowl to happen?
No, that's not what I'm saying, Matthew. What I'm saying is we need not another Chiefs Super Bowl.
How do you think I feel? I had lived through like the Patriots last 2 decades of just
that's your team.
Yeah, and it was just like we won again. Like, I mean,
Davey started getting bored watching the Super Bowl.
Like, it was a heavy burden to bear,
Davey's sitting there with all 6 rings going, I have no idea how this happened.
Like, if they keep this up, I will run out of hands. Like, and I'm not putting a ring on my foot.
Davey,
somewhere else you could put a ring on, Davey.
Davey, I'm going to say this. I will not verbally respond to that comment.
Hey, buddy. We're both in the same boat, Cap. So we're just waiting for both the Broncos and the Raiders to get 3 more Super Bowls.
No, I'm not verbally responding to his comment.
hey, if your Raiders ever get in the playoffs and not in a wild card spot because you
They
won't
did it
watch,
with John. They did it with John Gruden before he
Yeah.
got his ass canned. But
Well, we did a lot of things with John Gruden before he got his ass canned. We did a lot of things with Jerk Off Jack before he got his ass canned. We've done a lot of things with people before they got their ass canned. The problem is people are always going to get their ass canned because we went from a senile old man to a dipshit descendant, and now we're just wallowing in said muck.
Speaking of asses being canned, I had a little time to think on this, on the Dallas situation.
All right.
the McCarthy situation.
Yeah, I think throwing the entire, like all the babies out with the bathwater may not be the right course of action there. Like, let's get rid of Dak, let's get rid of this person, let's get rid of that person. McCarthy, however, I could see. Remember when they were playing and they were playing Washington? They were up quite a bit, and I kept saying, it was like, these players should not be in this game. Like, they should be taken out of this game. Like, you're running a huge risk here. Going, you're in the playoffs, right? That's on McCarthy. Decisions like that. So I think his decision making process is a bit off.
It's like urinating. Tree said that was the greatest game that he's ever coached for the Packers.
Yeah.
But they have
That's also-
personnel. Like the numbers Dak put up in that game, you can't argue the numbers he put up. He threw 60 times, I think, but he had to because they were down so much. But the personnel, I think they have. I don't think McCarthy is the guy, though.
I don't even think they have the personnel.
No, I think they do.
I think they've got the personnel. They've got some dogs on that offense, that
Not under
defense,
center.
without a doubt.
So
Not
if
under
you're-
center. That offensive line is nowhere near what it used to be, but
So if you're close, which I think they are, and you got a coach that's now on the market that is probably 2 seasons away from getting the all-time wins mark, you put him in there for 2 years.
I can totally see Bill going to Dallas.
And see if he can get it done, because he has the resume. I mean,
Well, let's look at some math here. You know, Cap's all about math. NFL teams have a $220 million salary cap. Next year, Dak Prescott will be a $60 million cap hit. And if you do the math there, Dak accounts for 27.2% of that team's salary cap next year. If that one schmuck out of 53 accounts for that much of my salary cap, he gone.
okay, so
Now,
get
with
rid-
that, it could totally restructure.
Could restructure. Jerry likes to fire coaches rather than quarterbacks.
Yes.
So I could see McCarthy getting the axe before Dak does. And as much as I despise McCarthy, I cannot fucking stand Mike McCarthy. Dak is the problem because he is so limited in what he can do. And it's been pretty much proven since his rookie year. It's like he needs to have a phenomenal offensive line. He needs a phenomenal run game. He needs a number one receiver. He needs a really good tight end. He needs a really good deep. He needs everything. He's like Tua. He is Dallas's version of Tua. Everything has to be just perfect though for Dak to cook.
Baby.
To be fair, Miami totally did need to build an offensive line. Otherwise, Tua was going to get murdered this year.
Well, speaking of cooking, there is a story up on ESPN right now that I thought I would share since Maddie is here.
Is it involving the jersey I'm wearing?
It does.
Oh, fuck me.
The market for Russell Wilson and the Broncos options. Russell Wilson's Hall of Fame trek took a mile-high detour over the past 2 years with the Denver Broncos, casting a pall over the 35-year-old's NFL future. But he might get what he's never had in 12 seasons, the chance to become an NFL free agent. his 5-year, $242.6 million contract, which he signed before the 22 season and runs through 2028, has hung over the Broncos franchise, and both parties appear headed toward a boiling point. Maddie, you're closer to the source than this, and by closer to the source, I mean you're the one freezing your nuts off in the Rocky Mountains.
Yes.
What are you hearing as far as what's going on here? Because I have heard zit diddly squat as far as anything about this since Russ was benched for the last 2 weeks of the season.
From what I understand, it seems Russ thinks he's coming back to Denver for another season.
I've heard that. Which,
and I don't know, man. From what I've heard, Denver doesn't want Russ, but Russ seems to think he's coming back for another season.
Sean the Payton does not want the Russell back.
No, and you can clearly tell that some of the players weren't, they weren't behind Russell as other quarterbacks.
Yes, $39 million guaranteed for 2024, whether he is on the team or not. So that is $39 million in dead cap next year for Denver.
It's a good thing the team is owned by Walmart, right?
$37 million becomes guaranteed in full on March 17th, leaving Denver with a decision on whether to cut Wilson, absorbing an enormous dead cap hit, but escaping the contract eventually. So you guys are gonna be eating some Monet.
Okay, so
Monet.
Cap, you said it yourself. You like math. You like math.
Yes.
Russell Wilson was a top 10 quarterback this year, stat wise. Touchdown to interception ratio. Yards? No, definitely not in the yards category.
Thrifty Wilson.
But
he was thrifty.
But if you
He was
look
the
at
Dollar
it,
General of quarterbacks. You could stock the fuck up on, insert economic good, but it is not going to really be.
as someone who kept a very close eye on this team all season long, it's the fact that a star quarterback does not have little to any weapons. Cortland Sutton, he got hurt during the year. Jerry Jeudy ran his mouth and started not getting targeted for some reason. Everybody else got fucking hurt.
And didn't I see Cortland Sutton, I believe,
Tim Patrick
about like a bye-bye?
I can see them trading him during the draft for at least a second round. I hope for a first round, but I don't think we're going to get that for him.
No,
Again, 5 quarterbacks likely to go in the first round. Denver.
We're not getting a quarterback. If we're dealing with Wilson, we're not getting a quarterback.
15th? Denver's picking what, 15th, 16th?
We actually have the 12th pick.
12th pick. So, and this is a very quarterback, offensive tackle heavy draft. So there could very well be a quarterback there at number 12 whom Sean the Payton wants to go for.
Dude, I have no idea. I don't know what the fuck's going on with my team.
No, I don't know either. Welcome to the club. Trust me, look at our owner. I don't think he knows from day to day,
my team did what I told them to do.
The Patriots listened to Davey.
Patriots listened to Davey. Time to move on from Uncle Bill. They did.
Again, I think they looked at this math thing and were like, Bill sans Brady equals shit.
Were they looking at math or were they looking at Mac?
Yeah, I don't care.
Both in that
I don't
instance.
care. I don't care what coach you put on the team. If Mac Jones is your quarterback, you are not winning a Super Bowl.
No.
Period.
I'd be impressed.
Doesn't matter
And
what.
he was a first-round pick, correct? McAdoodle was a first-round pick.
possible.
Macadoodle came out of fucking. Didn't he come out of
think
Bama?
He was like the 17th or 20th. Yeah, he was out of Bama. He was like the 17th or 20th overall pick, I believe.
Many a first round pick in many a sport has never panned out.
Cough, cough, Ryan Leaf. Cough, cough, Tim Tebow.
Well, okay.
Tom
Well,
Brady
they
was not
both
first round.
bombed. Ryan Leaf was the highest touted quarterback coming out. He and Manning that year, like it was like a can't lose. Like, well, if you can't get one and you get the other, you're still going to be just fine. He went second overall, but the problem was he shouldn't have even gotten drafted because Ryan Leaf had severe issues. Great arm, you know, could throw the hell out of the ball, but no. Now he wasn't. I will say this, and I never thought I would say this, and I don't think Ryan Leaf was as bad as Jamarcus Russell.
He still has the longest run against Denver.
I love Jamarcus coming out of college. I thought, big dude that can move. He can chunk the rock. You know, we bring him to Oakland. We can, you know, build a team around this guy. He's done well everywhere he's played, high school, college. I watched all 4 years of his college career. I was super psyched over Jamarcus. I loved it. And then he played.
He still has one of the longest rushes against Denver in team history. I think he still has the Raiders rushing record, like for longest run in team history.
He also has the rushing record at Golden Corral, but does that mean he's an NFL quarterback? No.
But he's on your guys' record book.
But I mean, where you're drafted does not equate to automatic success. I mean, Brady was a 6th round pick, 199.
Yeah.
7th round. Or no, it was 6th.
6th round, 199.
Yeah, 6th round,
overall.
199.
2000 NFL draft. He turned that into probably the greatest quarterback to ever quarterback.
Live.
Well, the thing was, I mean, Brady, I remember watching him in college, and he was a good college quarterback. I don't know why he went that late, apart from just NFL what have yous, but he. When I even still to this day, when I go, I was like, he was not a 6th round quarterback. He's obviously we know what he went on to do, but I would have at least taken Brady 2nd or 3rd round. But you know, that's
who was 2000? Was that the year of no? Woodson went 97.
Achilles Smith, Tim Couch, or was Tim Couch 99?
I think Couch
look at the 2000 NFL draft. 2000 NFL draft.
Quarterbacks that year, Chad Pennington was the highest one picked by the Jets.
Not in 2000.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now.
You're about 10 years ahead.
Bro, you have to remember, Chad Pennington had like a 16-year career.
Okay, so
Mark Bulger went in that draft, 168.
I think you're talking about 2010. I think you're.
No, he said Mark Bulger. Mark Bulger was 2000.
Yeah.
No, trust me, I was alive during this shit. I'm looking at it. Oh yeah, you were too. Okay, quarterbacks who went 2000 NFL draft. All right, where are we? Chad, what the fuck? Chad Pennington went in 2000? Good.
Yeah.
Shit.
Who knew? Oh, wait.
The Nostradamus of Nova Scotia.
Giovanni Carmazzi.
Not a Nostradamus.
Redmond, T. Martin, Mark Bulger.
I just brought it up on Football Reference. 2000 draft. Boom. There.
Yeah, I was about to say, bro. I remember Mark Bulger from the old fucking Maddens, bro.
Yeah. Like that name.
God.
Yeah, like that name stuck out to me, but outside of Pennington, not a lot of them do.
Yeah, I was about to say Pennington and Bulger definitely stuck out.
Then Brady
Yeah,
at
the 2000
199.
at Pennington, I was thinking was far later than that.
2000 draft, that was also Champ Bailey, correct?
Cornerbacks. Let me see. Cornerbacks. Deltha O'Neal, Rashad Anderson, Ahmad Plummer, Jason Webster, Dwayne Goodrich, Ike Charlton. No, I don't see a Champ
No,
Bailey.
not Bailey. I think Bailey was either the year before or the year after.
Chad Pennington was 2000. Jesus Christ.
Bro, again, Pennington had like a 16-year career for no reason.
Yeah, just one of those guys that kind of hung around.
And he had like 2 good seasons. One with the Dolphins, and
Well, he was drafted by the Jets. I mean, he
I was
had.
about to say, I think he had 1 good year with the Jets as well, but then he got traded to the Dolphins.
See, that was his first misstep, getting drafted by the Jets.
Davy's not wrong.
Had
Well,
he
I
been
mean,
able to
that
somehow
makes sense
fix
because
that,
Bulger took over for the Rams in 2002, if I remember correctly. 2002, 2003 was when Bulger took over for the Rams.
I want to say it was 02-03 season.
So, somewhere in there. So yeah, I mean, God Almighty,
Bulger played
that's
from
25 years ago. Good God.
Yeah, Bulger started 2002 was his first year.
Yep.
96 games played. He was 41-54-0.
41-54.
Last year he was 1-7, so that didn't help.
That last year, did he play
Indeed.
for the Rams or did he play for the Saints?
St. Louis.
Oh, he was still playing for the Rams. Okay.
Yeah, his last 3 years were 2-10, 2-13, and 1-7. So that put a dent in his win-loss record.
St.
Didn't
Louis,
he
after
go-
that Super Bowl loss to the Patriots, they fell apart. I mean,
122 TDs, 93 interceptions.
What?
With a career 84.4 quarterback rating.
Davey,
Bulger
you
was
need to take
nothing
one
special.
more step back. You need to take one more step back. What was that touchdown to interception ratio?
Oh, Bulger, he had 122 TDs, and he had 93 interceptions. He led
That's
the league in
horrible.
2003 with 22 of them.
Not quite a Jameis Winston season, but Christ.
he wasn't running a bakery, but
He was
more-
serving
it was more
turnovers,
like
though.
a stand. It was more like a turnover stand than a bakery.
Yeah,
Well,
you
to
got
confirm
paid
our
for it.
thoughts from our broadcast on Sunday, Tyler Higbee indeed has a torn ACL.
Dude, what? Dude, your knee does not bend that way, and your ACL do not tear. That was. It's a good thing it's the off.
Somehow.
It's probably a minor tear, but a tear nonetheless.
Yeah.
Speedy recovery to Tyler Higbee from everybody here at the RAWBall podcast. But it is a good thing they're going into the offseason. We could see him back by next year, but it would be, like Davey said, middle to the end of the season.
He's 31 years old now, Higbee.
Oh shit, this could be career ending.
Yeah, like that's not. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, that's not old. But
I thought Tyler Higbee was in his early 20s, man.
No, he's been around a bit. The big story from what I've been following in the NFLs, Davey's got me talking Canadian again today. Mike Tomlin exited the presser after the beat down from the Bills when he was asked about his contract. Sources say Mike Tomlin has told the team he plans to coach in 2024.
Yep.
And by the team, I mean the players and coaches, not the front office, obviously. And I I really like Mike Tomlin, and I'm not wanting to see him get ousted. But think of the talent that has rolled through Pittsburgh during his tenure. And what has he really done with it?
Well, he's got them to a winning record.
Well, yes,
every fucking year.
Every year.
he's
By
always
Hooker,
got
by
them to
crook.
a winning record. But at some point, a winning record is not enough after this many years. I mean,
This is the Rooney family, bro.
Well, as it stands now, the team that he's returning to will probably get him a winning record, but that's it, right? Like,
yeah, but you should shoot a little higher than just a winning fucking record.
oh, they should.
You know what? Hold on. I'm gonna message my my Yinzer real quick and see
Mr.
what his
Cherry?
thoughts are. Yeah, Mr. Cherry. I'm gonna shoot him a message real quick and see what he thinks about it. Give me a second.
Every time you say Cherry, I automatically
Hey, Greg.
think Don.
Hey, Greg. Apparently Mike Tomlin wants to stay as your head coach for the 2024 season. As somebody who has watched the Steelers team for as long as you can remember, what are your thoughts and what are your feelings? This is going to be live on air. And now we wait.
Well, and now we wait. I think I don't think Tomlin's a bad coach, but my God, how do you have guys like
Tomlin is a good
Roethlisberger, Brown,
They gotta,
Bell, Watt, Fitzpatrick, all these talented guys, and you can't do more than just go to the playoffs and get your ass handed to you in the first round. I mean, there's something.
What did Mike Tomlin say last year? The standard is the standard.
Well,
That's why Matt Canada had a job for so long.
If that's the standard, then the standard is dog shit.
The standard is a winning record every damn year. You might not make the playoffs, you might not get deep into the playoffs, but god damn it, you're gonna have a winning record and a low draft pick.
And what are you going to do with that? I mean,
you draft people like Broderick Jones, who's actually improved their offensive line quite a bit. I will say, what they need is another Big Ben, but what they're not going to get is another Big Ben.
no,
what they need is many things. They need an offensive line. They need a running back. They need a quarterback. They need wide receivers who don't just drink their own piss and smell their own farts.
So what's weird about that is you notice how both of the wide receivers in question for Pittsburgh, Deontay Johnson and George Pickens, both gentlemen got heavily criticized for work ethic, for play on the field and everything like that. The moment they started getting criticized, it's like someone or something kicked them in the ass and they started performing. Why can't this entire team do that whenever, the entire offense is getting criticized because of Matt Canada?
Well, as poor and
I understand that you can use Canada as a scapegoat, but at what point does that fall on your talent not performing?
Well, Matty, I mean, you studied the Matt Canada playbook in depth, and you came away with
5 plays.
5 plays. 5 plays. I would keep Tomlin under this condition. I would say, Mikey T, we're keeping you, but we're getting a legit top-notch offensive coordinator. You're going to give him a free hand with the offense.
Now, I don't want to cut you off too early, Cap. Can you give me a top-notch offensive coordinator that's available right now?
I can't because not everybody's been fired yet.
Good point.
And also, we don't know exactly what college coaches exactly may be available. We're still waiting on some.
I swear to shit, if I see Nick Saban get a job as an offensive coordinator.
Oh no, he was a defensive coordinator. He wouldn't know an offense from an offense. But I would say if I'm the Steelers, I am interviewing the top offensive coordinators in the league and trying to poach them.
Eric Bieniemy.
Eric Bieniemy is one.
Matt Patricia. Cap, don't even look like you're thinking about that. Matt Patricia going to the Steelers would be absolutely atrocious.
No, I'm just looking up in amazement.
It could be worse. They could have Bill O'Brien. Oh, wait, that's Davey.
Pittsburgh has to address their quarterback situation.
They
Mason
need to
Rudolph,
draft
for as well as he played, at times, ain't it. Going like if you're hitching your wagon to Mason Rudolph, you're not traveling far.
This
Right.
to me, this quarterback class seems like the most overhyped quarterback class. Everyone's saying, "Oh, this is a great quarterback. We got 5 quarterbacks going to go in the first round."
Caleb Williams is still projected to go number 1.
How? No, if I see a legit star stud franchise quarterback in the whole mix.
There's not.
The
Go
only
ahead,
way
Dave.
Caleb,
So many
the only way
teams are
Caleb
desperate
goes.
for-
The only way Caleb goes first is if Chicago
trades the pick because he's already said he will not play for Chicago.
No, he didn't. Maybe at one time, but he kind of recanted that.
He did? I did not see that.
As people do.
Well, we discussed Caleb a bit on Sunday night and
Misremembered saying it. Maybe I don't know.
misremembered.
But he said if Chicago did draft him, he would be honored. Was essentially what he said.
Yeah. If a frog had
How
one
much
tooth
truth
on
there
his
is to
ass.
that is anybody's guess. But he did at least utter the words. So
Man, Caleb Williams going number 1 may in fact be the biggest number 1 overall draft bust that we could have possibly seen. Now, he can totally prove me wrong, and that is exactly what I want to see from players going into the draft, coming into the NFL. I want to be proven wrong. Because I was proven wrong with Bryce Young, and I fucking hate that. Because I wanted Bryce Young to succeed.
well, Bryce may he had nothing to work with, like nothing.
Well, now what if
Dude, his number 1 receiver was Adam Thielen
Yeah, whose best days are,
in Minnesota.
2-3 years
back
behind him?
somewhere. Yeah. So,
Well, now what if Denver sells the farm and moves up to get Caleb?
I will fucking punch a hole in the wall.
Oh, draft night in April is going to be so much fun.
Oh dear God, we'll be at your house for the draft, maybe.
What is the date of the NFL draft? 2020.
Because our lease is up April 1st. We'll be heading down south, hopefully in April.
April 25th.
doesn't it run for like 8.5 days or something like that?
Yeah, but we're only covering night 1.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, the first round is on Thursday. Second round is on Friday, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is on the weekend. So yeah, we're only covering night 1. But yes, April 25th. So it is very possible that it will be Cap having to straitjacket Matty from punching holes in Cap's wall when Denver's pick is announced.
Okay.
For the record,
Okay.
I'm about a foot taller than Matty and about 100 pounds heavier. So I think I could do that. But
Let me give you. There are 3 positions that I would want to see Denver take in the first round. I don't watch college. I'm going to be doing that this season. I'm going to be catching up with college football a lot more this year. The 3 positions Denver needs.
In a college town, and tickets to Razorback games are dirt cheap, so you can watch
Exactly.
the SEC come through and whip Arkansas's ass.
But what I want to see Denver draft, and this is 3 positions. I don't want to see a quarterback, but if we get a quarterback, I would not be upset with Michael Penix Jr. for one reason. We need somebody mobile. That offensive line isn't going to protect shit, and we need somebody who's going to get away from fucking sacks.
So, Maddie, I just pulled it up. Here is the Arkansas Razorback home football schedule for the 2024 season.
Okay.
Games that you can easily get tickets to. They host the UAPB Golden Lions.
Do they host UC at all?
Wait, no,
University of Colorado.
No. That's at War Memorial. That's in Little Rock. So, okay, so UAB Blazers, that's in Fayetteville, because we have two stadiums. We have one in Fayetteville, one in Little Rock. They do like one or two Little Rock games a year. They host Tennessee. They host Texas. They host Tennessee. They host LSU. They host Ole Miss. They host Texas. That's going to be a big one. Arkansas, Texas, or
Cap. I don't mean to cut you off entirely. Greg Cherry has sent us back a voice message. Let's see if you guys can hear this.
As long as he gets a new coordinator and somebody to help with that defense, because that defense in the playoffs sucked. I don't know. I guess we deal with it for another year.
That is the hopeless optimism that a Denver Broncos fan has, and Greg is giving that for the Steelers.
You didn't have TJ, and I think Josh Allen would have found his evening far more uncomfortable if he had TJ breathing down his neck.
If TJ was there, I don't know if that 52-yard touchdown would have happened for Josh Allen.
Yes, your big game next year, Maddie, while you're down here, would be the Texas game.
Arkansas versus Texas?
Arkansas versus Texas has been a rivalry going back to the old Southwest Conference in the 50s and 40s.
Oh, speaking of,
the last time Texas came to Fayetteville, the stadium, which I've driven you by, was a complete, full, legitimate sellout, and there was that's the biggest game we've hosted in the last 20 years. That was 2004, so that was 25 years ago. It was the biggest game in Fayetteville history.
Now, Cap, before we break down the actual wild card that happened and everything, it has just been rumored by somebody close to the source that the new college, the EA Sports NCAA college football game, may be released July 14th of this year.
I did hear that, yes.
As somebody who plays Madden, will you be getting it? Because I might be getting that shit day one.
Likely not a chance in hell.
Oh, dude, no. Those games were so fun back in the day.
I could give, well, yeah, back in the day, I was a big college football guy. But then my testicles dropped, and I realized that NFL football is far superior.
I understand that. But look at it this way. What's the main issue Madden has had?
Main issue Madden has had, for me as a player, adding far more depth and far more stuff going on in franchise mode. Because that's what I normally play as franchise mode.
They take away from that and they put it into their online shit, yes? Their Ultimate Team bullshit.
Which I've never played, but...
Now, what if, and I'm just saying what if because I don't think they can do an Ultimate Team with college players. I understand that there's the new, players can make money off of their likenesses and shit now in college and shit like that. But I don't think that we're going to have an Ultimate Team for the NCAA. I think that they might actually focus more towards our single player campaigns and shit like that, as opposed to the online functionality. Because, yeah, the online functionality is still going to be there. People are going to want to play online, of course. But what made the college games great back in the day was the Road to Dynasty mode, was those single player modes. I feel like this could be something that EA, makes better than the Madden franchise.
I
Also, yeah, Cap, I did see you flash that up. I want Davey and I want your guys' thoughts on Vladimir Guerrero Jr. number dose in the MLB.
Vladdy numero dos. He's getting a deal with the Mets.
May God have mercy on his soul.
I hope for the best for every single MLB player. I liked watching Vladdy grow up, even though he was an angel and he often laid it against the team I followed at the time, which was the Rangers. But I like Vlad Jr. I want to see the kid succeed, and I'd like to see the Mets succeed in some form or fashion, just for the pure sake of, oh my God, the Mets fucking did something, rather than just completely implode. Beyond that, I'll let Davey comment whilst I relieve some ballast.
I remember watching Vladdy Senior a little further back than you guys. I remember him as a Montreal Expo. Benefits of being old.
Hold on. Did he play on the same team as David Ortiz? The same Expos team as David Ortiz?
No, I don't believe so.
Shit. Dude, imagine those two playing on the same team together.
But I remember his dad. He would swing at anything and everything and hit it.
It didn't matter if it hit the ground already. He was swinging for it.
I've seen him. I think I remember watching him. It bounced and he swung and hit it.
Made contact, and they considered it a single, yeah?
Yeah, and it wasn't just like contact. Like, it was solid contact. The guy could hit. Like, he's a legit Hall of Famer. As for this kid they signed, he's 17. So, I mean, he got several years before he's going to hit any Major League Baseball lineup. But he got a good hit tool, right? Very good eye. He got power. So he projects. They're projecting him a little bit below what Vladdy is, essentially. You got 100.
What Vladdy Jr. 1 or Vladdy Sr. was?
Vladdy 2.
Okay.
117,000 signing bonus. Hits from the left side where he displays a smooth, short swing with plenty of power. A lot of ability to control the strike zone.
Which, by the way, you'll catch comments like these and insight like this on the RAWBall Twitter account.
You will. That's where I just read it from.
I was about to say, Davey has been putting in fucking work on that Twitter account, by the way.
Yes, you have, Davey. And I'll also throw out a third guy who was on that Expos team in and around that time, Pedro.
Yeah, Pedro. They had a lot of Dominicans on that fucking team, didn't they?
Well, look who the manager was.
I don't know who the manager was.
Felipe Alou.
Felipe Alou was there. Jim Fanning was there earlier on too.
And I gotta say, I've always been a huge Pedro fan. People can't see it here, but Maddie, I'm on my wall over here. I've got an autographed Pedro jersey, and I've always loved Pedro. But I've gotten into this, I'm going to call it YouTube rabbit hole, but I'm just watching interviews of Pedro talk about pitching. And
it's an art to the guy.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he was a great pitcher, but it's really hit me here recently just how goddamn smart Pedro was and is when it comes to like just the science of breaking down pitching. And I was watching a video that they had him in an MLB bullpen. I don't know which stadium they had him in a bullpen, going through his entire windup, why he put his foot here, why his hip was raised to this level, why his arm, and he broke his entire throwing motion down brick by brick. And I sat there watching it, and I was like, just astonished. Like, it's like, damn, this guy is so fucking smart. And no wonder you combine this with this. No wonder.
Dude. You did not.
What?
You did not. On air, just go like this.
Yeah, the arm. No, if I was talking about the other thing, I would be doing this. This is the pitching.
Oh dear God! But before we continue on to the,
yes, I have earned even. I didn't think I could earn even any more respect for Pedro than I already had, but I have recently watching even more of his interviews. Pedro, thank you so much for everything. Watching your career was a joy, and watching your post career broadcast career has been as much of a joy. Still fucking hate the Red Sox.
who does he broadcast for now?
He's on the MLB Network.
Oh shit! Okay, I haven't watched the network in a long ass time, but
yeah, he's one of the big 2 or 3 on MLB Network.
Before we continue on to the NFL, I do have one question: do we see both of the Vladdies play on the same team?
If the Blue Jays manage to trade Vladdy Jr. to the Mets or Vladdy the third, Jr. the second to Toronto, it's possible. It's baseball; anything can happen.
Like I was saying to Maddie, like the kid is 17. Like he's at least at minimum 3 years, and that's fast track.
Being generous,
a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're probably 5
Even
years.
your all-time best players, like Kershaw debuted in the bigs at 22. Pete Rose debuted at 21, although that was a bit of a different. But yeah,
How old was Altuve? Because I think he was 19. Bryce Harper, of course, was the youngest player in MLB, wasn't he?
Bryce Harper.
I think Harper made it at 19.
Debut. Let me see.
No, there was that pitcher kid at like 17, wasn't there?
Well,
that they threw out for the Texans or the Rangers.
He was 18. That was the very first year of the Texas Rangers franchise in Arlington, and they threw an 18-year-old draftee out of high school.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I'm talking about guys who debuted and actually made it, like based on.
I got you.
Youngest to actually make it. Harper.
But how old was Altuve? Or yeah, Harper, I think, was the youngest.
I want to say he was. Yeah, Harper was 19.
Yeah, I remember that because I watched Bryce Harper's first game. How old was Strasburg? He was 20, wasn't he?
Let's see. I believe
because I remember the hype around Steven Strasburg.
Yeah, coming out of I remember watching. I was watching him when he pitched for San Diego State.
I remember watching Strasburg's first game was against Pittsburgh.
Which, by the way, this season was Strasburg's last season, so I also want to give a congratulations and a thank you for your service to the league to Steven Strasburg.
He was one of those guys, again, like a Dominican Republic player whom we have covered in great deal. Shan't mention his name at the moment.
Oh, he's become Voldemort now.
It was 2010 when he made his debut. He was born in
tell me it was
88. So
88.
He was 22. Yeah.
Damn, I thought he was younger.
Well, he went through 4 years at San Diego State and then pitched in the minors. He was 22. Yeah, Strasburg was one of those guys. I was. This is way back in the day when I not only had the MLB, the regular full season package, but the minor league package as well. When I just used to follow the game absolutely obsessively,
like a crackhead.
Watch him in the minors, and I would get. Before that, I was even watching, YouTube clips of him at San Diego State. He struck out 22 in one game at San Diego State. 22 out of 27. That's insane. So yeah, Strasburg, I love you. I wish your career had have been more fruitful, been a little bit better, but in Hall of Fame, I think Cooperstown's going to pass you by there. But
oh yeah, especially with how strict Cooperstown is.
Well, it's not Cooperstown; it's the baseball writers.
But
side.
Let's all. But before we get into the NFL, I know I've said this 3 times now.
Yep.
But you brought it up. somebody who's going to be a bona fide Hall of Famer.
Well,
As announced.
Davey, bring up the Hall of Fame current voting because you've been posting that on Twitter.
While Davey does
that.
While Davey does that, RAWBall also wants to thank Jason Kelsey for his commitment to the NFL as he has announced to his teammates that he will be retiring.
Yeah.
So if he's telling his teammates he's retiring, Jason Kelsey has been a complete team guy the entire way. So I don't see him telling his team he's retiring and then go test the free agent pool or something like that. Jason Kelsey, as Davey put out, I believe as Davey put out, 6-time Pro Bowler, 7-time All-Pro, 193 career starts, 193 career games. Jason Kelsey, absolute dog. One of the best to play the center position, I think, since Jeff Saturday.
So at the moment,
Oh yeah, I mean the guy's like whenever he's eligible, he's in. Like he's a surefire Hall of Famer, first ballot.
yeah,
Uh,
he's going to Canton.
on the baseball front, as it stands right now, 43% of the ballot is known.
Okay,
So
that's about.
so sitting at
They
first,
reveal the results in about a week, right? Week 10 days.
yeah, it's coming up. MLB posted that today, which I reposted on the RAWBall. So, like I was saying, folks, if you want up-to-date stuff, we're your guys.
Stay tuned to the RAWBall Podcast
We're-
Twitter account.
We're your guys. Adrian Beltre right now sits at 98.8%. You need 75% to get in.
Yeah, I think we said a few months ago Beltre gets in, which
Yeah, I was about to say, one of the best to play the third base position.
Yeah, and he ticks all the statistical marks.
Doesn't he also have 2 Derby wins under his belt, or is it just one?
More than I can tell you there. Second up is Joe Mauer. He's sitting at 83%.
Mauer, I love Joe Mauer. I could see him because the baseball writers are funky. I think Beltre gets in. Mauer, I could see possibly missing it, though I love Joe Mauer, and if he misses it this year, he'll get in later.
Well, I knew he'd get in. I didn't think he'd be first ballot, but 83%, he'd have to.
That's pretty good.
You'd have to be left off a lot of ballots with 43%
I'm
already in.
NBC Chicago trying to find the. So yeah, Beltre's one.
Yeah. Todd Hilton is sitting at 83%.
Come on, Todd. A fucking lifelong Rocky. Let's go.
Next up is Billy Wagner at 79.4. And
Fantastic closer.
right on the cusp, Gary Sheffield. He's sitting at 75.2.
How long has Sheffield been on the ballot?
I think this is it for him.
Yeah, this is Sheffield's last
He
year.
he doesn't make it this year. He goes to the veterans.
Where is Andrew Jones? I think is Andrew Jones on his last year or pretty close to it.
Andrew is sitting right below Sheffield. He's sitting at 72.1. He may not get in this year, but he will get in if he's that high. He generally
Andrew Jones.
Is this his last year of eligibility though? Because you only get 10 years. Where are you looking at this, Davey? I want to see what's your source here because I'm not finding anything.
Baseball Hall of Fame tracker 2024 takes you right to it.
Okay, let me Google it.
Now, while you guys are talking, I will put out, as somebody who's actually watched Andrew Jones's career for 20 plus years before he retired, Andrew Jones is a guy I think he played himself out of the Hall of Fame. Like if he would have cut his career like 3 years short from what he did, I think he would have
getting in on his glove. He was
exactly. But you have to remember he wasn't just a glove, dude. His contact to power in the earlier days was fucking ridiculous. He was keeping pace with Chipper Jones.
Very true, but again, that petered out.
It did.
Chipper's ability to hit Peter. Chipper was a 300 batting
Career.
guy from both sides of the plate for 18 fucking years.
Yeah, and the thing, and like Maddie said, the thing with Andrew is
He
his
played
glove
himself.
was always there, right? He never lost that. But his offensive side of it, it was a very sharp peak,
Sharp
very
decline.
sharp decline. So it wasn't consistent over a long period of time.
Because didn't Andrew Jones have a 40-100 season where he had 40 home runs and over 100 RBIs?
Oh yeah. Just see here.
So it takes 75% of the votes to get in.
Yep.
Excuse me. Beltre sitting at 98, Maurer at 83, Elton at 83, Wagner at 74, Sheffield. How many more years do some of these guys have on the ballot? That's what I'm wondering, because sometimes that can make a difference, because if you're
For the voting, yeah, it does.
yeah, because I want to say Sheffield and Wagner, when did these guys retire?
I feel like Billy Wagner has not been retired for too long.
Andrew's last season was 2012.
So 2024 minus 2012. So yeah, this is his
12 years.
Andrew's last year.
Yeah. So he'll likely he's going to be close. If he gets in, he'll just barely sneak over that 75. Anybody else that's on there, like Beltran at 66.7, he ain't getting in. He screwed himself over with what he did afterwards, right?
Yeah.
What did Beltran do afterwards?
The mess with Houston and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot he was part of that.
Yeah, like you get that stigma attached to you, it's hard to shake. Right.
Especially if it's the writers getting your ass in.
Beltre should be a first balloter. If Maurer gets in, and I'm speaking strictly as fanboy here, because Maurer was one of my absolute favorite players when he played. If Maurer gets in, I'll be head over heels happy, because I love me some Joe Maurer.
Dude, I loved catchers that could hit for power and contact.
Well, Maurer switched to first base. Remember the last few years of his career.
I forgot about that.
His injuries kind of started to and he switched to first base the last 2-3 years of his career, and was still a very productive guy. Got on base. I mean, he made that. It was like Buster Posey. Posey always played catcher, but he would play first base sometimes on off days. Maurer officially switched to first base and would occasionally fill in at catcher, maybe, but he made the full-time switch to first base and was still an everyday guy. Posey's another guy that once he comes up on the ballot needs to be a first ballot guy. So Jones.
Oh, Buster Posey deserves to be a first ballot.
Okay, so Andrew retired in 2012. It takes 5 years to get on the ballot. Then you have 10 years. So 2012 plus 5. So that's 2017, 2024 minus 2017. So Jones has 3 years to go.
Yeah, he still has time then.
Yeah, he still has years to go. Okay, very good. And I hate the fucking Braves, but goddamn, I loved watching Andrew Jones play.
Dude, I've always been a fan of watching the Braves team play, because they've always been either electric or the pitching has been stellar.
Speaking of the Braves, my brother Justin Orr, he's a lifelong Braves fan. My nephew actually today at a trampoline park broke his leg. My 5-year-old nephew
oh no,
suffered a hairline fracture of his left leg.
What was he doing?
Just trampolining, just being a kid. It was a break, but it was a minor break. He's going to
it's a hairline fracture, so it's going to take a minute to heal. But at least it wasn't like a full blown snap.
Yeah, and his first name is Bryce, named for Bryce Harper, Justin's favorite current MLB player. His second son's name is Chipper, for Chipper Jones. So Bryce Dallas, or get well, little nephew. Uncle Rhino wishes you the best. Stay off trampolines. I hope you can still make your season debut in Little League this year because I want to see my nephews play baseball. God damn it. I've been waiting for this for so long. Anyway.
Damn, the first hour went by and we haven't even touched the NFL yet. That's how interesting the rest of the sports news has been.
So I think Beltray for sure gets in. Maurer and Helton are maybe.
I hope both of them get in.
Wagner and
I hope both of them
Sheffield,
get in.
because I've watched these trackers before in other election years, and typically I think Wagner and Sheffield may miss out. Beltray, I think, with 43% of the ballots in, 98%, I'm pretty sure he gets in. Maurer and Helton are going to be iffy.
Maurer will get in. He's Sheffield's retired. His last season was 2009, so this would be his 10th.
So yeah, this is his last shot.
But his stats, I don't know why he's not in. Like hits,
steroid scandal.
Yeah, but I mean, he's not. He was kind of linked to it like Ortiz was, right? Ortiz is in.
The only thing is Sheffield was part of it because he was a part of the Yankees whenever he got hit with it.
2,689 hits.
His stats speak for a Hall of Fame career, just like Barry Bonds' stats speak for a Hall of Fame career.
Yeah, like 509 home runs, 1,676 RBI.
He's part of the exclusive fucking 500 club, man. He should be a Hall of Famer.
253 stolen bases, so he can run. 292 average,
and he
a 393 on base. Now,
Gary Sheffield. Growing up as a Red Sox fan, I hated him as a Yankee. But whenever I played the MLB games, when I played like the MLB games and everything, Gary Sheffield was a guy that if I did like a season or a draft, that's who I would try to pick up because contact, power, if he's on the base, he's probably going to steal a fucking bag. And he has some of the best fucking – he has some of the best some of the best stolen home runs for the Yankees career-wise. And when he went to Detroit, it did not stop. Gary Sheffield should be a Hall of Famer.
A couple of things stand out to me with him. Like mentioning steroids and that, but there's no huge, large jump in his numbers.
They were consistent.
Yeah. Like home runs, 34, 43, 36, 25, 39, 36, 34. That's like
consistent.
Yeah. Like there's no,
and the same thing with his batting average.
He didn't jump up to, it's like, oh, look, 60 home runs. Never happened, right? He only got over 40 twice, on base percentage.
And I don't even look at 40 being a steroid standout number.
No, it's not.
It's to me, steroid numbers, when I start seeing you get into the 50s and the 60s or the 70s, I start to get a little bit suspect. But again, fucking Roger Maris hit 61. Yeah. So, and we know he wasn't roiding out. So, but my sort of magic number for roid, my suspecting you of roids is somewhere around that 55, 60 number. But I take that with a grain of salt and I look at your performance.
What stands out to me with him is the on base.
393.
That's career. Like that's almost 40% of the time you step in the batter's box, you are getting to a base somewhere.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you put in your body. Right? That's impressive, right? Because you have to have an eye at the plate to do that.
Yes,
it's the same thing with Barry Bonds. Like his contact was always there. Yes, the fact that he was like 150 pounds heavier.
Back to Felipe Alou. If you watch the Ken Burns baseball documentary, which I recommend any baseball fan, if you haven't seen it, take the 16 hours and watch it. But Felipe Alou, when asked about Barry Bonds in that documentary, said of every single player he had ever seen come to the plate, he said Barry had the best eye.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
Judging pitches.
That's the thing. Like,
But
you
Barry-
can, as Davey said, you can pump yourself full of anything. You can pump yourself full of steroids. You can pump yourself full of fucking animal tranquilizer for all we care. If you are talented, which Barry Bonds was, Barry Bonds had like 10 years before he fucking started the juice.
and that's the
Barry
point I
Bonds was
gonna bring
able.
up.
Oh, sorry, Davey. But Barry Bonds was able to see the ball as it was coming and make contact with it, no matter what. Just because he put on 150 pounds of fucking muscle means it sailed a little further than it would.
Yeah.
But Barry Bonds always had that eye, always had that contact. A lot of the other players that did it, very similar. Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa.
Well, let's backtrack a little. McGwire was never a high average hitter until the juice came. Bonds,
But the juice isn't gonna help your eyes, bro.
no. I'm saying Barry always had the eye. I'm saying McGwire and Sosa didn't always have it. I'm saying McGwire and
You've
Sosa.
got a very valid. Well, Davey, can you do me a quick favor? Can you look up Sammy Sosa? Because I'm pretty sure Sammy Sosa was a much higher contact guy than Cap's thinking.
Sosa was higher than McGwire. Sosa had a far better eye than McGwire. McGwire was a straight power guy. Sosa did have a far better eye at the plate than McGwire did.
Sammy Sosa, 18-year career. So his on base was 344 with an 878 OPS, 128 OPS plus, 100 is average.
Yep.
Okay. So it's not much higher than the average, but what was the the career batting average
for Sosa versus McGwire?
Sosa was 273.
Never mind. Cut it. I'm sorry. We were literally just talking about, people like Gary Sheffield and Barry Bonds who had and Chipper Jones who had careers close to 300. So sorry.
Chipper was a switch
Cut
hitter.
it.
Chipper was a switch hitter.
And he hit 300 from both sides.
From both sides. And this is the thing. People always say Mickey Mantle was the greatest switch hitter of all time. I disagree.
Chipper is the greatest switch hitter of all time.
Mantle's is actually third to me.
Who's the second?
Chipper Jones is the greatest switch hitter of all time for me because he hit 300 from both sides. The second best switch hitter, I have his jersey on my wall over there, Pete Rose.
Davey.
Pete was a switch hitter.
Is Jorge Posada a Hall of Famer? No, okay.
I don't believe so. 263 career batting average for Mark. 394 on base, same as Sheffield.
Well, that's because he got walked fucking ridiculously.
Yeah.
But the average was nothing. The average is very Sammy Sosa-ish.
Well, what'd you say, 274 to 263? So about 10
No, it
points.
was 273 to 264, I believe, right?
Yeah.
So 9 points.
Yeah, they're
Which doesn't sound like much, but when you're a baseball nerd like me, 9 points is...
It means a lot.
Yeah.
It really does. It means a starting position over the backup.
Yeah. Because typically you want your starters to be somewhere in and around 270, 275. Your middling backup guys in the 260 area. 260 area. But if you're like a 250 or below, it's unless you're a catcher. Now catchers get a little bit of a pass there because catchers have a far heavier load and responsibility. But as far as MLB starters, it's really tough to be a consistent starter if you're batting below mid 260s, low 270s over a career. You can have fluke seasons, but overall, the numbers bear out.
Sorry, I'm looking up Jorge Posada's stance because I was always a big Jorge Posada guy.
Oh, I loved Jorge.
Posada, 273 career batting average.
Career batting average, OBP of 374, which is what, 200 over the average? Or is it the OPS plus that we're looking at as the average?
OPS plus 100 is league average.
Okay, so he had a 121.
Yeah, so anything over and above that, you're better.
5-time
You're that much
All-Star,
better.
4 World Series, and 5 Silver Sluggers too.
17 seasons, 4 rings.
But like we were saying Sunday, rings.
He's the best catcher in Yankees history since Yogi Berra. Obviously,
Clearly.
Yogi got 10 rings. Nobody's going to touch Yogi there. But
rings does not equate to the greatest, player. Like there's a guy in the Montreal Canadiens, he has 11 of them. 11.
And it's because he's been a journeyman, right?
Well, no, he was a good player. Andre Richard was his name.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, Andre Richard was a hell of a player.
Yeah, but just because you got 11 Stanley Cups, that's more indicative of the team that you played on. The Montreal Canadiens in the 70s were.
I was about to say, dude, it's like the Bills in the 90s. They had 4 straight Super Bowls. Did they win one? Fuck no.
4 of them.
Well, the Montreal Canadiens, I forget the year off the top of my head, but they won an entire season. They lost 5 games. 5.
Is that the best record in NHL history?
Point-wise, Detroit, I believe Detroit has that, if I'm not mistaken. But the 70s were different.
You said they only lost 5 games.
Yeah, let me bring that up here very quick.
Like, is that the greatest record in NHL history?
Montreal Canadiens.
You know what? Hold on. Now that we're on this, Cap, again, I hate to postpone the NFL talk, but
hey,
now
baseball caps in, baby.
I want you to look up the greatest single season record for MLB. Davey's probably looking up for NHL. Fuck it, I'll look it up for the NBA. I'm pretty sure it's the Golden State Warriors from a couple of years ago that had 73 wins and like 12 losses or 11 losses.
No, it was the Mariners.
Wait, the Mariners have the greatest single season in the MLB?
In the modern era, they went 116-46.
Yes,
and that's on this. That's the 162 season, right?
That was 2001. The Mariners went 116-46. Before that, you had the Cleveland Indians went 111-43. Before that, it's all dead ball era. Pirates did it in 02 and 09, and then the 06 Cubs. But modern era, yes, it's the Seattle Mariners. They won 116 games in the regular season.
And yeah, for the NBA, it is the Golden State Warriors. Like I said, it was 73 wins and 9 losses.
And the Montreal Canadiens in the 1976.
Best individual hitting season, 1941. Ted Williams hit 406. Best pitching season, 1968. Bob Gibson with a 1.12 ERA, I believe.
I believe so. Yeah, we talked about it before.
1.12.
What were you saying, Davey?
The Montreal Canadiens in the 1976-77 season, they played 70 games. They lost 8.
They lost 8, so out of 70. But in the modern 82 game NHL season, who has the greatest record of all time? Also, I just realized NHL and NBA have the exact same amount of games.
They do, yeah.
If we're looking at all-time career, you're mentioning batting average, Matty. My pick for greatest player of all time.
It's Ted, yeah?
No, Ty Cobb. Despite him being a human piece of shit by most all accounts, 367 career batting average.
I know plenty of human pieces of fecal matter.
Yeah,
usually they don't amount to much, but Ty Cobb did.
367 career average, most stolen bases, third most in stolen bases all time. Career hits, he is one of only 2 guys since 1869 to have over 4,000. He and Pete Rose.
And one of them is omitted from everything. Davey, go ahead.
For the NHL, recently done. Their figures. Boston Bruins in the 2022-2023 season.
It was last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They lost 12 games.
That's nuts.
12. Yeah.
And they got bounced in the first round, if I believe.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
And we all know the greatest record in NFL history. The Miami Dolphins pop a bottle of champagne every time that
1972 went undefeated.
I was about to say the Miami Dolphins fan base pop a bottle of champagne every time an undefeated team loses.
Well-
but they get bounced in the first round. But the parity in the NHL, like from
Has
1 to
risen
8,
significantly.
yeah, like from 1 to 8 in each conference, there's not much of a difference. But it's just how the teams are constructed. You know, some are more built for playoffs, some aren't. Like the Leafs, right?
All right.
They'll
Can
have a
we
great
get to the
regular
NFL?
season. They'll have a great
Yeah, I was about to
regular
say.
season record, right? Because they're built to put up a lot of points and score a lot of goals. But that's just not conducive to a playoff series where you're the same team night, every second night, right? They'll catch on. That's what happens. Captain?
Anywho, ballyhoo. Into the NFL. Texans humiliate the Browns 48-14. CJ Stroud, you have arrived. You are a fucking stud. Joe Flacco, I don't have a lot bad to say about you, but you are what you are.
Hey, Joe Flacco, for 40 years old, coming up off of his couch to just lead the Browns to a playoffs casually as fuck. And, have a record, have a string of 300-yard plus games. Joe Flacco did an incredible job. CJ Stroud, as a rookie, to do what you did, the Baltimore Ravens are awaiting you. The Houston Strouds, I hope you're ready.
Oh, Houston is going to give Baltimore everything they can handle and then some. This is not going to be a cakewalk for them.
It's going to be a dogfight, and I cannot wait.
And Dev is going to be sitting there chewing his fingernails. It's been like watching an old school manual typewriter.
I can't do. I sincerely cannot wait. This is a game that I am looking forward to, specifically since both of you gentlemen know Devin called them out in our group chat.
Yes,
Devin wanted Houston. Let's see if Houston isn't the team to knock Baltimore out. The clear favorite to get to the Super Bowl.
if Houston makes the AFC title game and they
Oh my God. I want them to make the Super Bowl if they beat the Ravens.
that will chap Dev's ass to no end.
No, you want to know the thing is though? If the Texans beat the Ravens, Devin is going to be rooting for them because they're the ones that kicked the Ravens out of the playoffs.
And Dev, even before the season started, said C.J. Stroud was the rookie quarterback whom he
Had the most faith in.
had the most faith in. Chiefs pummeled the Dolphins at home 26-7.
This was a foregone conclusion to
Yeah.
almost everyone,
yeah.
Matthew.
Yeah. Tell me you told me so.
He told you so.
I did tell you so. Like Miami going to that kind of weather, they're just not that kind of team, right? It's just and it showed.
The Chiefs. Go ahead, Davey. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, had that been, had they won that game against Buffalo, that would have put an entirely different spin on these playoffs.
It would have. The
Well,
seeding would have been very different.
Well, Miami's now playing Pittsburgh in Miami, right? That's a much different. That's a much different game. So now Miami likely advances. Buffalo gets a new opponent, not quite as easy. So because if you beat Baltimore, and Buffalo stands a very good chance of beating Kansas City, right?
The Chiefs still have issues, though. And they are going on the
for the first time in Patrick Mahomes' playoff career.
Yep.
He is going away from home, minus the Super Bowl, which never takes place in Kansas City because fuck them.
I think it's more due to the weather.
But no, actually, I would love a Super Bowl in Arrowhead. I really would, but I digress. This is Patrick Mahomes' first playoff game outside of Arrowhead.
Yep.
And it is against the Bills, a team that has consistently been fucked out of a championship game. New England, Kansas City twice.
Oh,
This might be the game. This might be the game, man.
You and Rich Eisen are very much in agreement with each other.
Oh, I can.
Packers decimate the Cowboys. 48.
They didn't decimate them. 16 points isn't a decimation. But let's go. Go, Pack, go. I cannot be happier that they beat the Cowboys.
Oh, I was overjoyed seeing when I looked at the score and it was 48-16. I think I may have woken up from a nap or something or whatever.
Now I don't mean to cut off Davey because I know he's got a lot to say about this game. But what you just said, when you checked, it was 48-16.
And that was all
Packers,
I needed to know.
No. The Packers gave up 16 points in like half a quarter. That's not good. Getting up as high as they did by the halftime, very good. To give up 16 points in less than fucking 5 minutes, Davey?
Dallas was putting them up pretty quick and pretty often.
It was that last quarter. You can see it right there. 16 points in the fourth quarter.
Now, it was hard to say what Green Bay was doing there, too. Were they just letting them, let's let Dallas eat up their own clock?
Yeah.
Which could have been part of it, too, right? Because
that's one thing, though, man, but...
Yeah. I mean, it's a possibility. I don't know if that's what they were doing, because I'm not an NFL coach yet, although these positions keep opening up. You never know.
Hey, all three of us might have a head coaching position in the next 5 years. By the way, we're calling some of this shit.
But looking at the betting lines on these games for the weekend up here in the
we'll get to that, Davey. Oh,
none
of them are projected to be close.
No, none of them are, but I think they will be a lot closer than what we saw this weekend.
Yes.
Packers.
I got the sticky notes. I can't wait.
The Packers are winning playoff games, and they are basically paying nobody anything. This is the youngest team to ever win a playoff game,
which I have mentioned a couple times.
Nobody anything.
I have mentioned
the birth of a fucking dynasty.
I have mentioned this more than a couple times because I actually did a Packers franchise with this team, and nobody other than David Bakhtiari is over their 6-year mark in the league. Everybody else is 5 years or below. This Packers team, like Cap said, has a potential to become a dynasty.
They are long-term dangerous.
The craziest thing about this is how young the receiver core is. All three of their main receivers. All three of their wide receivers, Christian Watson, Dontavian Wicks, and Jaden Reed, all three of them are rookies. I think Christian Watson might be in his second year. Jordan Love is a third-year quarterback in the league, and he's been behind Aaron Rodgers for those 3 years. This is his first year starting.
You've getting away with this.
You have Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, a two-headed fucking dragon at running back. Their defense is insane with the amount of talent they have for as young as it is.
Great corners.
And, dude, the edge rushers, the fucking safeties. Dude, the Packers could potentially beat their opponent this upcoming week. And I know we're going to get to that in a minute,
We're
but
gonna
what
get
they
to
did to the Cowboys, what Jordan Love has showed in the last 6 weeks gives me absolute hope and
This
should
is
give Tom
arguably
and should
the
give Tom
highest
Grossi
improvement.
this
of
should
a
give Tom
quarterback.
Grossi the biggest football hard on that he has ever had because I don't think the Packers have seen something with as much promise as they have right now since Aaron Rodgers took over for fucking the Packers after Brett Favre. Davey, I want to give you your chance to talk shit about the Cowboys.
Go ahead, Davey.
Well, like I was saying earlier, I don't think the Cowboys are a bad team. I just don't think the coach that's leading them is the guy.
And their quarterback.
No, I think Dak can. If you get the right coach,
I'm with Davey here, Cap. I apologize, but I do think Dak has shown a lot more this year than you would like to believe. I understand we all have this hatred of the Cowboys, but Dak Prescott didn't do what he said. Dak Prescott did not throw 10 interceptions during the regular season.
The playoffs.
Hey. Those Packers were fucking there to play, and they beat the shit out of the Cowboys. Davey, continue.
And this is speculation on this part, but this is not coming from a New England fan. This is just coming from the guy that coached New England. You know, you bring Bill in on a 2 or 3 year deal, right? That gets him his most wins all time, and a motivated Bill. I want another ring, right? He will be fucking hell bent on getting it. You know, they have the team to do it, right? You don't put up a regular season record like that. And the stats that Dak is able to put up, you know, without
he didn't throw the 10 interceptions, man.
Yeah. So I mean, there's, you know, like I said, don't be throwing the baby out with the bathwater, right? Yeah, they gotta make some sort of change because something there is not working. But I don't think it's the talent on the field. I think it's the person directing the talent on the field.
Now, before we continue on to the next game, because I know Cap wants to try to get through this before we go overtime again. But
I'd like to get to dinner. It'd be nice.
But the Atlanta Falcons have been the first team to meet and interview Bill Belichick. Now, as Urinating Tree so gracefully put it, you didn't interview him, Atlanta. He interviewed you. With Atlanta having as many weapons as they have, really just needing a starting quarterback. They have Taylor Heineke, which could fit Bill Belichick's scheme. If Belichick chooses Atlanta over Dallas, how do we see this going for Atlanta? Because I know we forgot to talk about it earlier in the night.
I would Bill.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead, Debbie.
I was about to say, you're the resident New England fan.
I see Bill getting his all-time win record, and that's it.
You see him not getting anything with Atlanta?
He will not lead Atlanta to a Super Bowl.
That team has too many holes, and he doesn't have enough years left to fill them all.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying Dallas, right? Because of that latter part. Doesn't have a lot of time as a coach.
And Dallas has all the talent.
And Dallas has.
Bill with 2 years in Dallas, he could guide them to a Super Bowl. I hate to say it, but yes, Belichick could do it. It sickens my stomach, but yes, he if there's any coach on the market,
it depends on what Bill wants too, right? You know, he just wants.
Let's just cross this out as a potential because he is on the market. Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah.
If he went to Dallas, is he the guy to get Dallas over the hump and could be there longer than Belichick? If you're Jerry Jones and you've got Jim Harbaugh available, are you throwing more money at him than you are Belichick because You're
He's
going to
got
win
longer time.
Yeah, you could win multiple Super Bowls with Harbaugh versus one with Uncle Bill.
Well, very few teams win multiple. It's just, think about it.
Harbaugh's
It's a fact of life.
In any sport, really. Like there's just too many teams that are too good. Baseball, there's no dynasty in baseball now. Los Angeles Dodgers are throwing, $8 billion on their payroll. When was the last time
They're
they
still
won?
going to get bounced in the first round. Dave Robertson managed a game of his life depended on it.
But Harbaugh would be a longer commitment, but he could still get that job done. Yes. So it just depends on the commitment that Jerry would want to make, and
It depends on if Jerry takes his medicine. Does Jerry take his medication the morning he decides
or maybe stop taking as much of it.
Because it sounds like Jerry is absolutely done with Mike McCarthy. So Dallas is clearly getting a new head coach this year.
Jerry's already dead. He just wants a Super Bowl ring before he's embalmed. I think that's what it is. But Jerry can't handle having a coach who's bigger than he is. And I think Belichick is too big for Jerry. So that's why I see the Harbaugh thing. Because Jerry has 3 rings as an owner. Belichick has 6 as a head coach and 2 as an assistant. Build greater than Jerry. Anywho, Lions beat the Rams 24-23. Lions win their first playoff game since I was 4 years old in 1991.
I wasn't even a glimmer in my fucking dad's nutsack when the Lions won a fucking playoff game, bro.
I remember as a child watching Barry Sanders, because I wasn't big into football until about 99, 2000, watching on thanks because the family Thanksgiving, what have yous. Detroit was on, you saw Barry Sanders doing Barry Sanders things. That was my childhood understanding of the Lions.
They wore the pretty blue and Barry Sanders ran.
Yeah, and pretty much. And
that was it. That's what if you're watching a Detroit game, that's what you tuned in for.
It's the pretty blue and Barry Sanders running. And like 10 years later, it was the pretty blue and Calvin Johnson doing shit.
But congrats to Detroit. I love Sean McVay. I don't love the Rams. I love Sean McVay. And he's already said he's going to be back next year. I think the Rams are going to be just fine. But the Lions...
They have a first-round draft pick this year.
So do you.
Yes, we do.
And let's watch how you blow it.
Dude, if we draft a goddamn corner, I'm going to throw some hands.
You're going to be sitting on my couch when this happens. And if you start
and Devin will be right next to me.
It's going to be Cap you're going to have to deal with. And I'm big enough to toss you across my living room.
Very valid. You do tower me by like an entire foot.
You're not messing up my rec room, goddammit. Anywho, congrats to the Lions. I would have loved to have seen the Rams win just for my own personal gratification, but congrats to the Lions. I mean,
as fellow Denver Broncos aficionado, Brandon Perna has said, no one beats Goff.
Well,
the only person to beat Goff is the Detroit Lions.
A lot of people beat off, but very few beat Goff.
Exactly.
Davey, your thoughts on this one?
Rams were one of your picks to go to the Super Bowl. How do you feel about it, Davey?
Well, the Rams got it wrong, obviously. Close game. It was the only game I got wrong last week. Surprisingly,
They kicked field goals instead.
I'm so sorry, Davey, because I know that fucked your parlay.
did, but such is life. This game is going to be a lot closer than people think, because Baker, who is no longer Barker, it would seem, has found something. He got the team clicking. I just think Detroit is, from what I've seen.
Well, we'll get to this weekend. We're still examining weekend.
They're the more complete team of the two. So I think Detroit would take that one.
Bills decimate the Steelers.
Sorry, before we continue, I would like to say that Baker is no longer Barker, because that motherfucker is ripping smelling salts before he goes through the tunnel and is playoff ready. This motherfucker is baking pies, no longer baking turnovers. He's doing full-size pies.
He ripped smelling salts back in the day to get high.
Exactly. Look at that motherfucker as he plays football.
Dude, there is nothing like getting good and stoned on some good grass, and you've been drinking all, then you rip a few smelling salts. It puts you in a different zone.
So what you mean to tell me is I need to start doing smelling salts?
No, I'm not recommending this behavior. I'm just saying we do things to you. That's a different story.
Maddie's going to have a shipment of smelling salts come in soon.
I'll tell a story off air, but it involved a lot of alcohol, a lot of weed, and smelling salts, and me and a friend, and it was a fun day. Bills decimate the Steelers 31-17. I watched Tree's broadcast of this.
He knew what was going to happen.
He knew.
He knew that the Steelers weren't going to win. I went with the Steelers because our friend Urinating Tree is a Yinzer. I went with the Steelers because my friend Greg Cherry is a Yinzer. I went for the Steelers because
big ass payoff, you degenerate gambling son.
I was going for the Steelers because I have at least 5 friends that are Steelers fans, and I wanted to see nothing more than them be happy. I bet on my friends, and they failed me.
Don't ever bet on the Raiders because they will fail you.
So if your friends jumped off a roof, if your friends jumped off a roof, would you?
This masochistic motherfucker might just.
I told you,
Davey.
Yeah, actually,
have I told you the story of how I dislocated my knees?
You have not.
So
although I do know you had the John Moxley El Desperado spot done live.
So when I was 12, 13 years old,
good beer.
I did backyard wrestling with some of my friends. Devin can attest to this. Well, I had climbed onto the roof of one of my friend's house and did a flying crossbody off of said house directly to the dirt, grass, and outside of a house. As I landed, both of my knees simultaneously dislocated. Thank you to my friend Dallas, and thank you to my little brother Devin for resetting both of my knees.
That's why
it was
20 years old and walking like you're 60.
It is one of the reasons why I walk like Terry Funk and I'm only 25 years old. Yes. I walk like Mick Foley now in my mid-20s. I still want to get into deathmatch wrestling, guys.
Piece of chicken shit, Steve Carino.
Oh, that's still one of my favorite things was you and me finding MLW Underground from like 2005.
Because you had-
Jerry Lawler versus
animals.
Terry Funk.
You had 2 animals that night, and we were watching old Terry Funk matches.
Oh, it was incredible.
If you get on this year, you and Mox completes the deal with Naito sometime this year. By the end of 2024, you could be fighting for the IWGP World Championship, Tokyo Dome.
You know what?
2025.
You know what? Anybody who's watching who's got any hand to get me to New Japan, Rocky Romero, if you're just so
You're
happening
moving
to
down
watch
here
this.
where there is an independent wrestling promotion.
Exactly.
about 20 miles up the road.
I just have to get started there. And then if Rocky Romero just so happens to pop in and watch our show, I can get on New Japan Strong and get my ass beat by someone like Gabe Kidd.
We have an independent wrestling promotion 20 miles north of where you're going to be moving in a few months.
So Devin has decided that
he's your
he's
manager. Hey, I will walk out there and be your manager.
So Cap, here's the thing. Devin has decided that he might not want to go the pro wrestling route, that he might just want to go the MMA route.
Yes.
Which means that I still have a chance to go through the pro wrestling route. I'm only 25. DDP started in his 32s?
Yeah.
I got this. You guys are going to see me bleed on your TVs eventually.
Hey, Maddie, I will accompany you to the ring as your manager.
Will you accompany me to the hospital as I need glass and shit pulled out of my back?
I will accompany you to the ring, to the hospital, wherever you need to go. If Maddie gets into Ozark Mountain Wrestling, Cap will be there in full Cap gear with the walking stick and be your manager. I will be the
Hey, dude, I might need the walking stick after the match. So.
I will be the greatest heel mouthpiece you could ever desire.
You should try to get in. Game Changer Wrestling.
Dude, if I could get into GCW, the amount of death matches I could do would be so fun.
And what's weird is Cap hates death matches, but
right
loves
now,
GCW.
this year,
I don't know how or why, but I love it.
Well, right now they got 10 entrants.
Go ahead, David.
Jordan Oliver, who I believe Captain is
very fond of.
Maddie turned me on to J.O. I am a J.O. disciple at this point.
Alec Price, another one.
Ooh.
DeRice, Gresham, Bailey, Starks, Young,
Christian Bailey,
Cartwheel, and Masha Slamovich.
Hold on.
Sure.
What was number 4 on that list?
2, 3, 4. I don't know if I pronounced it correctly. Dereis, Dereiss.
Man like Dereis? Like the UK,
yeah.
the UK fighter?
I don't.
Because if that's the case, that's huge for him. Yeah, because his name would be man like dude. That is huge for him to be in that. Because I've been watching him since.
They just had.
Sorry, Davey, go ahead.
Oh, just saying that they only had the last names listed there, but yeah, he's 5-year pro. Based out of
dude, I was about to say I've been watching him since he debuted in Progress. Like this guy is very talented.
So that show, night 1, February 9th. Night 2 is February 10th. And
Okay.
Live on Fight TV. Nick Wayne also is the 10th entrant in that.
Ooh. So there's going to be some damn good matches on those shows.
I gotta say,
hello, Miss Maggie.
Oh, Oh, this little Miss Magums. I got to say, GCW, for all of them, as much as I hate fucking death matches.
Oh, you're going to love them when I start doing them, Cap.
When they're done poorly, I hate them. But GCW, I love the way they present the product. It's presented the way pro wrestling should be presented. I cannot. 2 years ago, when I met Maddie, I basically watched no current wrestling. And here I am 2 years later, and I still watch very little current wrestling, apart from some WWE, some AEW. But of all the promotions going right now, GCW, at least they present shit right. It looks like the way pro wrestling should, whether it's a death match or it's a technical wrestling thing. I love how the promotion looks at the business and presents things. And I'm disagreeing with my wrestling godfather, Jim Cornette, on that. He hates GCW.
Are you ready? Are you ready for Matt Cardona versus Nick Nemeth in GCW?
I know Nick Nemeth now by his name. He was Dolph Ziggler. Matt
Cardona was Zack Ryder.
I don't recall ever having seen Zack Ryder work.
That's actually sad because Zack Ryder was pretty. I think he's talented as shit in the ring.
I can't say anything positive. I can't recall ever having seen the man work, so I can't, go positive or negative.
Zack Ryder and Matt Cardona are the same person, but very different.
But as far apart as I can get my two fingers.
Yeah.
Is that because they've been dislocated so many times?
The thing I like. The thing I like with GCW is it does bring me back to like a time of when I first started watching, which would have been the 80s.
It feels like early, late 90s ECW.
What's crazy is GCW gives both of you guys those feelings because it gives Davey the feeling of the 80s. It gives Cap the feeling of the mid to late 90s. This gives me the feeling of a breath of fresh air, a brand new start. It shows all three of us a completely different side of pro wrestling.
Yeah. And
which is the greatest.
I love what they do.
It's the greatest part about GCW. And, Davey as our, resident elder, he's seen damn near everything.
I haven't seen everything.
Cap, you've seen. Go ahead, Davey.
I didn't see the show last night, so I didn't see everything.
Well, that's because you're taking a step away from WWE, which might be safe for you, healthy for you.
Yeah, no, I'm done.
But
the thing I like with GCW, it's a little bit of everything.
We have a promotion that all three of us agree on, which is pretty. I think that's about the only promotion all three of us agree on that we all.
And I can guarantee you, Devin agrees on it too because he enjoys absolutely the three things that we enjoy. He enjoys the gritty grappling that we get in GCW. He enjoys the atmosphere, the feeling that a GCW show gives like Cap does. And he enjoys the deathmatch shit that I love. So, like, all four of us agree on this one promotion. And the only thing is...
match, they can... Neither guy can get color, and they can go 30, 45 minutes.
And it'd be fantastic.
And it's a technical masterclass.
So, Cap, what's your thoughts on Effie?
Well, there are certain...
Because I know you've watched GCW shows in full, which means you've seen Effie.
I have. Let me put this into as
Not the character, but what he brings to professional wrestling.
Well, my attack is on the character, not the person. I mean, I've never met the person. I don't know anything about the guy, but the character in and of itself just pisses me off because of the hokiness. I would. It's sort of a more. How do I say this? A more DX uncensored version of Orange Cassidy in a way is how I've kind of viewed Effie. I would like to see this gentleman get a gimmick that isn't just what this Effie gimmick is. And in pro wrestling, I understand, okay, yes, it's a work. And I can suspend my disbelief to a degree. I can, get into it when things are done right. But the gimmick just doesn't do it for me. And I think he needs to ditch this gimmick and get himself a better one. Not that he couldn't be sort of a stripped down Gold Dust, maybe.
As for his in-ring work,
I don't want to shit on the guy because I've watched matches of his. It's like, dude, get.
As for his in-ring work,
no, I'm not shitting on the in-ring. It's just the gimmick turns me off to the point that it makes it tough for me to watch his in-ring. It's like, get yourself a little bit more of a toned down gimmick to some degree. And then I would be able to get into your thing more, if that makes any sense. It's like, dude, I get what you're going for, but it's too much in this particular setting. I need to actually have it be between two guys who I believe want to kick each other's ass. And
you're going to get that soon. You're going to get that soon in
believe that
GCW.
either guy is capable of kicking each other's ass. But when you go out to the ring in fishnets and use the things he's done, I need it to be more. Just give me a little bit less burlesque, and a little bit more ass kicker.
I'm gonna give you a pause on 1 second, Davey.
Go ahead.
I know there are some matches that you could send to Cap that would change his mind on that specific part, but in terms of that. That feud that you're talking about, him versus someone that you believe that both of them want to kill each other, both of them want, you'll get that soon in GCW. Him versus Mance Warner, who is a very big time deathmatch wrestler that I've been following for a long time. That feud that they've been building for a while is going to be very good.
Well, whenever he faced Moxley and he started jerking himself off.
Okay. That's a completely different story. I believe that was Mania weekend. And that was a completely, the match that he's about to have with Mance Warner is going to be absolutely completely different. And it might change your thoughts on.
I don't mind an androgynous character who pushes those. I don't mind that. I love Gold Dust. I don't mind that. But you have to, at some point in my brain, as I'm suspending my disbelief, at least give me the idea that you can.
Look. Okay, Davey, can you do me a favor and send Cap a couple things?
I'm still listening. I just have to relieve some ballot.
Go ahead. Davey, if you could send Cap a couple things from the Cardona Effie rivalry, I feel like that would be better for Cap to show the character more and stuff like that. As for Cap going to relieve some ballast, we can move away from pro wrestling, as I think we're going to go a little bit over time. I don't think we give a flying fuck. Cap has dinner. I'm going to make some ramen after the show. But Eagles versus the Buccaneers, 32-9 for the Buccaneers. And I cannot believe the absolute collapse that has happened in Philadelphia. What the fuck happened to this team, Davey?
And this has been ongoing for weeks. It wasn't just a one-game collapse.
6 weeks. 6 weeks.
Yeah, like it's like I was saying throughout the season, right? You know, the record is not indicative of the team wearing the uniforms, and this is a poster child for that. What was being trotted out on the field was not an 11-win team.
No, it was not.
No, and they showed that the entire game against the Bucks. Like the Bucks schooled them in that. Wasn't even close. So I don't know what Philadelphia is going to do in the offseason, but they got to look in a few mirrors and see exactly what's going on there. I don't think everybody's coming back either.
I think everybody's coming back except for the coach. Because this collapse, if you watch it week by week by week like we did, Jalen Hurts looks as lost as a puppy looking for its mother. He has no structure. He has no coach. He has no. This team at the OC, DC, and HC level, they are screwed. They just do not look like they have any coherency. No guidance, no leader at the helm, no nothing. I mean, they're just lost.
Yeah, they got to figure something out. Because playing like that, they started off really well. They just didn't finish well.
Yeah. Well, them and the Chargers are sort of a weird dichotomy. Okay, Eagles started out winning big. Chargers started out losing small. Then the Eagles went to losing small, Chargers losing big. And then here we are, the Chargers just quitting.
The Chargers lost how many games by 3 points?
Well, that was early in the year. They were losing by like 3-4 points. And as the season went on, they just started getting blown out. The Eagles went from winning big
the last Mike Williams, which
to losing small.
The loss to Mike, I was about to say, as Davey said, the loss to Mike Williams was bad for the Chargers.
Yeah, because they just kept following the ball to Keenan Allen over and over and over again. So people, the teams knew. It's like, okay, he's feeding it to Keenan Allen. That's all he's throwing.
And as a fantasy owner, they didn't use Austin Eckler a whole fucking lot.
The Eagles stopped using A.J. Brown towards the end there. Just like the Bills stopped using Stephon Diggs. I mean, both teams have a lot to sort out, but the Eagles, they've got to get this HCOCDC thing figured out. Otherwise, next season, they are going to be swimming in a river of shit. And we lost visual on Davey.
He'll be back. I know he will. Let's get started on the divisional round.
Texans at Ravens. Ravens are 7.5-point home favorites. Let me get out my pen and paper here so we got the Matty.
You already know who Devin's going.
The Davey, and we got the Cap. So let's just get our predictions here.
We already know who Devin's going for this game.
Well, yeah, obviously. I mean.
And he wanted Houston. He wanted the Texans for this game. Yes, the Strouds are coming into Baltimore. But CJ Stroud is unlike anything that I think we've seen before.
I think Stroud and the Texans are going to give the Ravens absolute fits. But I think at the end of the game, it's going to be the Ravens winning this. Is it going to be this 7.5 point? No. I think the Texans give the Ravens absolute fits, and this may even go into OT, but I think the Ravens win this. I'm going with the better quarterback, the better coach, the more complete. I cannot pick against the Ravens here, but the 7.5 point spread is horse shit.
Do they win by 7.5 points? I don't know.
No.
I'm going Baltimore, but as you said, Cap, this could easily be a game that goes into overtime. Davey, what are your thoughts?
Okay.
Just due to the talent on both teams. But it's going to be a close one, probably within a field goal. But I think the Texans take this.
All right.
The way everything else played out, it should play out. I think I'm going to be wrong on my Super Bowl pick, though. But I think Texas gets by this game.
So let us move
I don't see the Texans winning in Buffalo. I don't see them winning in Buffalo.
Okay.
Our primetime game on Saturday, Packers at 49ers. 49ers are 8.5 point home favorites. This, to me, is the toughest game of the week to predict. This is the one that I hate this game from a pick'em standpoint.
You know the smile, Cap.
I know that smile. Maddie's taking the Packers.
Go, Pack, go. Come on. Beat the Niners. Finally beat the fucking 49ers. Please. Please.
Cap is taking San Francisco.
My better judgment here, I'm going to side with Matty.
Let's go, Davey.
And I am also picking Green Bay in this. What I seen of that game from that team, like, it impressed the hell out of me. They can run the ball well. Defense is stepping up. They got Jordan Love. You know, he distributes the ball well. He's mobile. And Purdy, if they win this, Green Bay has to get up early. If they get up early in this game, I don't think Purdy brings this team back to win, because that's been his problem all year. Plays great with a lead, does not play great coming from behind. I think Green Bay gets up early and they hold them off.
All right. Game number 3, Buccaneers at Lions. Lions are 6.5 point home favorites.
Will Captain get a pick right? Will this be the game? Could be.
Cap is taking Detroit here.
Oh, we got one right. Excellent.
They haven't even played.
Davey is taking Detroit as well.
Let's go, Detroit. Go into the Super Bowl. I lost my pen.
So that's
lean.
And I think Devin would go Detroit as well.
Clean sweeps.
All right. And then for the prime time, the big one of the weekend, the one that I hope we decide to cover, because I want to watch this game with all of us. Chiefs at Bills.
I know somebody in the room is getting this one wrong.
Bills are 3 point home favorites.
Matthew, I'm looking at you.
Why are you looking at me, Davey? Shut the fuck up.
I made my prediction.
Someone's getting this pick wrong.
Very known based on my headline there. Cap is going Chiefs.
Davey.
So Cap is going with the Ghosts of Christmas Past method here, thinking the Chiefs are what the Chiefs were, which they are not. I'm going Buffalo. I'm going Buffalo handedly.
Handedly. All right.
Handedly.
Matthew.
Matt, are you okay?
It's winter in Buffalo.
It was winter in
Kansas City
last week.
Kansas City is playing outside of home for the first time in the playoffs with Patrick Mahomes. Josh Allen
They're not
finally avenges. Josh Allen finally
13nd game.
avenges the problem that he has dealt with throughout the playoffs his entire career. He's gotten past the wild card. He's gotten into the second round, and he's either gotten bumped out in the championship game or the divisional game. This is the year he beats Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. I'm going Buffalo.
All right.
Ooh, you did get it
This
right.
game
Nice.
begins at 5:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, which would be
4:30 p.m. Mountain Time.
I believe we need a RAWBall coverage of this game. If Davey and yourself are into the covering this on Sunday,
I would be home at that time, so
We're not.
where is it? Where is it streaming on?
By then.
Paramount, CBS.
Fuck. I will figure it out.
Worst case
I got
scenario,
a few.
I can share my Paramount Plus
gotta-
subscription with you.
I may, you know something? I may even have that. I have no idea. It's possible.
But yes, so that's 2 Buffalo to 1 Kansas City, and I think Devin would go Buffalo as well, but there's a possibility he'd go Kansas City.
I'm going Kansas City because I think here's what I think. Buffalo is going to outplay Kansas
Here,
City.
Cap, shoot Devin a text and just ask him what he would go for these games.
All right. I will do so right
do have
now.
Just because my phone is almost dead.
Okay.
So Dev going Buffalo. So only one of us got this one wrong. That's pretty good.
I think Buffalo wins in Buffalo. It's written to the point where Buffalo has to win this game.
It's not going to matter. Buffalo, and this is what Buffalo's going to play better defense. Buffalo's going to play better offense. But you're forgetting the X factors here. Buffalo has Goodell. They have Mahomes. They have Reed. They have Taylor Swift. They have Travis Kelce. They have everything the NFL wants in their AFC title game to play against either Baltimore or Houston. It's not – the Bills could outscore the Chiefs, and the Chiefs are still going to go to the AFC title game. That's how this game is going to go. It's going to look like the Bills are far and away the better team. But bullshit is going to occur.
Well, they are.
And the Chiefs are going to advance to the AFC title game. The NFL will not Emperor Goodell will not permit Mahomes and Tite to sit at home for the AFC title game. The Chiefs are advancing to the AFC title game, and it's not because the Bills aren't going to look great, not going to play great, but
is it really because of Taylor Swift?
No.
Chiefs are going to the AFC title game, and that's what's going to happen. And we'll see Sunday night when we do a live stream and watch this, and you'll see that Captain is right.
Well, I guess we got it set.
Next week, when it's the Laws brothers, all 3 of us hanging out, watching the Ravens and the Chiefs in the AFC title game. And
dude, I think you're going to be more worried about Devin throwing hands during that game than about me about the Lions.
Dev's going to climb up on my roof and jump over to the Chinese bakery next door.
He probably will, and he'll come back with some nice ass fucking Chinese buns and shit.
But yeah, that's what's going to happen. Chiefs are winning this game. It ain't going to be pretty. It ain't even going to be right. But the Chiefs are going to win this game. It's going to be
Davey. One of us
title game.
One of us have this game wrong, and Cap, I'm sorry. It's going to be Buffalo and Baltimore in the play in the championship game.
No, it's going to be Kansas City and Baltimore, and the Chiefs are going to advance to the Super Bowl. The Chiefs are going to play the 49ers in Vegas, and the Chiefs are going to defeat the 49ers with T-Town.
If the Chiefs get another goddamn Super Bowl, Cap, I might just kick you in the balls. I'm sorry.
Well, we also have a wager. If the Chiefs make the Super Bowl, you have to eat that well-done steak with ketchup.
And if the Ravens make the Super Bowl, I have to give Devin a free fucking tattoo.
So either way, you lose.
Either way, I lose. But you know what? I think I'm much more interested in giving Devin his tattoo.
God, that I am wrong. Because if I have to fucking live with another goddamn Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl living in this fucking hellhole with
Cap, it'll be my first year down there as a Broncos fan.
If you are tit to tit with Chiefs fans down here, you do not want to deal with that. These people are monsters. They are vermin. It's like when the Cubs won a World Series. That's the high they're riding. They haven't done this their whole lives, and now they're just riding this wave.
Dog, I was riding a specific high whenever the Chicago Cubs won a World Series. I was high as shit whenever they won the World Series.
I was sad as hell because I fucking hate the Cubs.
Dude, how can you be upset about them breaking the fucking drought? Like legit, as a baseball fan, how could you be upset about that? Because I understand Pat Bowen had said wishing success on any division rival is a sin to the Broncos family. I can understand that, especially since, the Cubs are crosstown rivals from the White Sox. But you cannot tell me that you were happy that they at least broke the drought, one of the longest droughts in sports history.
No, I was not at all happy. I was pissed. I was angry. I'm still pissed.
How fucking dare you?
Because the Cubs, it's not as if they've gotten close and just fell short.
Bro, we have to break some of these records. The Cardinals need a Super Bowl.
But in the head.
We need these records broken, bro. We need the Cardinals to win a Super Bowl.
Chiefs are winning this Sunday, and it'll be Chiefs-Ravens next Sunday with all three Laws brothers chilling out down in the rec room, watching on the big flat screen. Dev's probably going to take a roof dive while Maddie and Cap just drink kernels. And
this is the Elite Eight. This is the NFL's Elite Eight.
I think it's more like 2 and then 6 other.
So I think me and Davey have agreed on every game this weekend, meaning that me and Davey believe it's going to be Green Bay versus Detroit and Baltimore versus Buffalo to see who gets to the Super Bowl.
No, Davey took the Texans.
You took the Texans.
No, I took Texans.
Davey took the Texans. Otherwise, you're in agreement.
Yeah.
I think Devin might be the only one in agreement with me in any of these games.
I'm still awaiting his response.
I think if I were to grade Captain's reasoning for Kansas City, like a letter grade, I think I would give him 3. I would give him a W, I would give him a T, and I would give him an F. Put those together.
It's not as if you and I agree on a great deal of things, Davey. We occasionally agree on very true, pure points, but in the periphery, we tend to sort of, go away from each other on that.
One of us tends to wobble off the rails occasionally.
Hey, if I'm the guy to wobble off the rails, I'm fine with that.
And I grab you, it's like, oh, come here, buddy, come here. And I get you back on track.
So it's like Weekend
My
at Bernie's.
Canadian
I'm the zombie, and you're
Bye.
just kind of like, shoehorning me back.
You are Bernie. Captain Bernie.
So I took Ravens, Niners, Lions, and Chiefs. We were all in agreement on the Lions. I agreed with Maddie on the Ravens, and I'm the only guy who took the Chiefs or the 49ers. So we'll see how Cap's predictions work out. I reserve the right to be wrong.
I feel Captain Bernie will be
Captain
wrong
Bernie
on Sunday evening. Captain Bernie.
Well, we shall see when we go live at 5:30 and watch this whole thing play out.
So join us Sunday as Captain does his impression of Weekend at Bernie's with his Kansas City pick that's going to go completely off the fucking rail.
Oh, trust me, I've gone off the
sunglasses.
rails even far more than that. Try to deal with me when I've had a few hits of LSD and a few joints, and then we'll see how far off the rails I go. I'll start sitting there having conversation with Richard Nixon as to why he decided to do what he did during the Watergate scandal. But no, I have not taken LSD in about 15 years. So
I haven't taken LSD in like 2 years.
well,
I may or may not have. I have about a decade or so. That's a bit hazy.
yeah, I mean, if you remember your best acid trips, you probably weren't on them. That's like saying, hey, if you were at Woodstock, you probably don't remember it. But anyway.
Aren't they trying to revive Woodstock in the year or so?
They've tried to revive Woodstock 3 times, and every time it has failed miserably.
Well, that's because it doesn't have the same vibe as Woodstock 66 or Woodstock 99. I meant 69.
The original Woodstock was
Happening.
it was for the time that it was in. It fit perfectly, and it doesn't really. It most definitely doesn't fit in the current environment.
No.
So just let it sit for a while and see how things evolve down the road.
I would drop the mother of all bombs on the Woodstock. They are a foreign power. I would drop the mother of all bombs on them. They would be no more. Trump 2024. That was my Alec Baldwin Trump impersonation. He won Iowa going away. God, New Hampshire in a week, I think, is when next primary is. Election night in America, presented to you by the RAWBall podcast, come next November when it is Davey and I headlining.
Yes, it's going to be Davey and Cap because me and Devin and almost anybody else in our chat have no fucking care for.
It's going to be the event of the century as Davey and Cap look at election results and simultaneously cry together.
Now,
why would Davey cry? It doesn't matter for
watching,
his fucking country.
No. And I was just going to, for those listening now and listening into the future, I'm Canadian. So I have no specific dog in this particular fight other than being a neighbor.
Davey, for people who don't believe you, say the word out.
Out. Did I say it wrong?
There you go.
Yeah, the emphasis is on the U.
Yeah.
Well,
It's an important letter. If it wasn't there, you'd have ought.
Ot.
Well, all letters are important.
Where are you going? Not the
Would that be oot?
not the silent one. Silent letters, they're not important. I don't even know why the fuck they're there. I don't say anything.
This dude is out here saying "pafone."
Exactly, yeah.
I love you, Davey.
The Nostradamus of Nova Scotia, ladies
What's
and
that?
gentlemen.
What's that thing over there? It's a phone. Well, we better not put an F in that letter then, in that word.
It's got to be PH, pafone.
I blame Alexander Graham Bell for this, and as soon as it stops fucking snowing up here, I am marching
You're in
myself
Canada.
to
It
the
never
deck.
stops fucking snowing. Maddie's in
You guys
Colorado. It never stops snowing up there. He gets like, what, 2 months free of snow?
For the most part. But
yeah, go ahead.
I think we've gone 21 minutes over Cap's dinner time.
Yeah.
So, Davey, before we go off air, quickly hit us with the next week of professional wrestling that we've got.
Currently, we have an NXT show on. Got about an hour and 9 minutes left in that, give or take. Tomorrow night is Dynamite, the AEW. Big title match. Samoa Joe and Hook will be locking horns. Christian and Dustin Rhodes is on there. Deonna Purrazzo will make her Dynamite debut.
Christian versus Dustin Rhodes.
Oh, bro, go watch the promo. You're going to enjoy it.
But your father's dead.
Yeah. Oh, Christian went. Yeah, Christian went there. I thought Dust was going to fucking kill him.
Of course
Thursday
he did.
night,
That's why Christian's so damn good.
Thursday night is Ring of Honor. Also, TNA will be on. Scuttlebutt is the Josh Alexander Will Ospreay match will be on there. Nick
I saw clips from that.
Well. So if you were a fan of Dolph Ziggler in WWE and you were rooting for them to do something with him, he will be on your TVs Thursday. Go watch him in TNA.
Support him in TNA.
Yes. Friday, as usual, SmackDown and Rampage will be on back to back. Saturday's your Collision. I don't know of any pay-per-views this weekend that I'm aware of. Stay tuned to the RAWBall podcast, though, because like we give you updates on Stardom, various indies throughout. So if you're looking for people as to where they are and what they're up to, we are your spot to be.
And every
next weekend it will be the Cap and the Brothers Law down here at Casa de Cap for the Royal Rumble on Saturday night, doing a live stream with any of our friends who want to join us, and then doing a live stream on Sunday for the AFC and NFC title games.
Both games.
It's gonna be some fun. I cannot wait to have the Brothers Law joining me here and get to hang out with my two favorite people on the planet.
And for those asking,
go ahead, David.
I have no definitive word on Mercedes as far as anything that is confirmed. So stay tuned. One name to keep an eye on, though, Megan Bain. She is returning to AEW from Stardom. This woman is one to watch. Like when she
potentially
gets back,
the next China. Potentially the next China.
Should I be updating my Pornhub subscription or updating my subscription to her wrestling?
No.
Okay.
Wrestling.
Damn it.
Wrestling.
But But yeah, no. And tomorrow you can catch me on the Greg Cherry Show,
Royal
potentially
Rumble.
having. Oh no, this is not the Royal Rumble one. That is next week. This
Okay.
week is Luck of the Draw.
Okay.
Alora might be throwing eggs at me, and I might be covering myself in strawberry syrup.
Mansfield, if you are out there, you might want to clear your calendar for tomorrow night and also purchase some Jergens.
Oh, I was about to say Josh Mansfield is more than likely going to be in attendance for that episode. And I know me and Alora now know the trick of the trade about cracking the eggs before they get thrown at you, because I just had solid ass eggs get thrown at me 3 times.
You are a masochistic motherfucker, but I still love you.
Yes, I am, and I enjoy every second of it. And then, Thursday.
John and I did just get a new table for our patio, so you could always throw yourself off my roof into our glass patio table.
Do you want to like pour gasoline on it and light it on fire so I can jump through a flaming glass table? I don't think people have done that in the deathmatch wrestling scene yet.
I'm sorry I even mentioned such things. Why do I do these things?
Here's what you do. You get a kendo stick, right? You break it over Devin, right? And then you do the John Moxley Shingo Takagi spot where he takes the kendo stick and he tries to put it into Shingo's head.
So where Devin puts the kendo stick through my forehead.
Similar.
Can't we just have a 60-minute Broadway between these two where there's no torture?
We can, but we have to torture each other. You know this.
Yeah, it's called an SPF or a crossface or, I don't know. You don't need toys.
Oh, yeah, me and Devin totally need toys.
Another challenge that was kind of sent out that went a little bit under the radar. Daniel Garcia would like to visit Mr. El Desperado.
For the junior heavyweight title? Is that what I'm gathering, Davey?
Yep. I'm
I do
all
like
for that.
Daniel Garcia. I have never seen El Desperado.
Love El Desperado.
So I can't say
love him.
anything plus.
Oh, Cap, you would love Desperado.
I do like me some Garcia.
I think you would like El Despi.
But he sent that out yesterday. I reposted it somewhere. But it is on there. So if you follow the Crew Day, you will get updates or follow RAWBall, you will get updates like that. Like all day.
Well, I have gotten no response from Dev as far as
I think he might be making dinner with Mom. That's a possibility. Devin, we love you. You have yourself a wonderful night, and we will hopefully catch you on Sunday for the
Bills and
Sunday
Chiefs.
stream.
5:30 Central Time, 4:30 Maddie time, 6:30 Davey time, or is it 7:30?
And in
7:30.
in 9 days' time, Devin and I will be driving our happy asses down through the state of Oklahoma, down to the state of Arkansas. We will be at Cap's house, hopefully by about 8 a.m. your time, Cap. So hopefully you're an early riser. I know you are.
John, and we have discussed breakfast. We will have, if you guys are arriving in the morning, we will have breakfast ready for you.
We will be there more than likely early in the morning. So,
all right. Well, we will have some biscuits and gravy, and
so you guys will be in the. So you guys will be in the same building for the Royal Rumble.
Yes, we will.
Is this correct?
Correct.
Okay.
We'll be down in
Don't
the
forget
rec
to
room.
tune into that. Yes. So Maddie and Captain and Dev will be doing their rendition of the Big Comfy Couch for the Royal Rumble.
We're going to do our 3-man panel for the Royal Rumble.
Bastards sitting on a couch yelling at a television.
All three of you sitting on the couch for.
Okay, but before we get off here, who's going to be our Rumble winners? I'm going with Zoe Stark for the women's, and I'm going Gunther for the men's.
We go to that one. I am going to go an a la 1994 split winner between Cody and Punk. A la Brett and Luger.
Dwayne and Bailey.
Dwayne and Bailey. I'm going to go. I'm debating my choice on the women's room. I'm debating between Bailey or Nia. I haven't quite made my choice yet, but I'm between those two. I almost want to go Nia just to see Nia win while Dev is here in my home, and then we have to subdue Dev.
If Nia wins the Royal Rumble, I can guarantee you that Fayetteville, Arkansas might explode.
My theory on Bailey is that I think they're gonna the little faction that she's in. I think they're all gonna kind of just leave her alone and not help her at all in the Rumble, and then Bailey eliminates Kairi Sane, and then she eliminates Asuka, and kind of says "fuck you, I'll win it," and then I'll go challenge Io. So I think that's how she gets to.
Okay,
Bailey or Nia?
Dwayne and Roman, kind of. Because they're not doing it in Australia because the time zones are way too off for the States.
What if they have Cody win the fucking Rumble one more time? 2 years in a row. Shawn Michaels did it. Stone Cold did it.
Stone
Cold they have Cody do it. Yeah, but 2 years in a row is what I meant.
2 years in a row. I could see, but I think I could see them doing a Cody, doing a Cody Punk simultaneous winner. Just for shits and giggles. If you wanted to pin me down, I would say it's going to be Cody, but I could see them doing a duo thing.
All right. Well, is there anything else that we want to plug or cover before we head off for the night?
Check us out. It's going to be Maddie and the Cap on Wrestling with Your Thoughts for Nick from Wrestling Legion on Thursday night. Cap will be a judge, which I am super excited about. My first time doing that for a wrestling booking competition. Sunday, we will have our coverage of the Chiefs and Bills. Next Tuesday, the normal RAWBall, and then Saturday and Sunday, a week from this coming weekend.
We'll be down with you.
We'll be down with me doing streaming of basically everything.
I think that just about covers it. On behalf of Cap, on behalf of Davey, on behalf of Dev, stay safe, stay healthy, stay hydrated, don't get arrested, don't get pulled over in the state of Kansas, and we will see you all next time. Ball out with the RAWBall podcast. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we will see you next time.